Incredibly strong bullish follow through today as price held the near-term area of support. Let's go ahead and recap the action today. We came into the session essentially wanting to see how price treated this near-term range low in the 43.60, 43.58 level. Now, this was the weekly low for the week, and you do also have, if we look at the regular trading hours chart, you do also have an unfilled gap down below this 43.58 level. So this was identified as a significant area of support that buyers were going to be attempting to defend. Now, the main watch coming into the session was whether or not that level was going to hold. As you can see during the pre-market session, pretty much marked a low pretty early this morning, well before the regular trading hours open, and never looked back. You got a brief pullback there, but essentially never looked back. One of the scenarios we outlined this morning during the pre-market prep live stream was the fact that, yesterday, if you take a look at this daily candle, there's a lot of volume behind this candle. So the thought is that, okay, there's probably a lot of people piled in short here thinking that, yeah, this thing's going to roll over and do a repeat of what we saw in mid-October. Problem became when we gapped up rather than gapping down. Probably a lot of people were expecting a gap lower. We actually end up gapping higher. And the interesting thing about this particular setup was that this is actually the first pullback that you see here. So if you miss this entire rally, you're probably eager to get involved at the first level of interest, at the first pullback. So if we throw a fib on this move, it's not even testing that 23% retracement. Maybe if we started from the prior Monday low on October 30th, right through there. So if you take a fib from this particular session up into the high, yeah, you get the shallow pullback right there. What does that tell us? Well, it tells us that, buyers are still very much so in control of this tape. Now we have a move up through that most recent lower high. So this is what I call a change in character if this move can sustain. That's what I'm going to be looking at come Monday, whether or not buyers can continue to hold prices above that 44.30 level. And again, a trend is defined by a series of lower highs. Once price takes out that most recent lower high, you have a change in character. And again, it signifies that, there's a change in who is in control of the tape. Right now, we're definitely seeing great follow through from last week's rally, bit of consolidation here this week, and then Friday we leg higher. Now, if you remember in the weekly kickoff this past Sunday and earlier throughout this week, I was kind of outlining the scenario of when you have a move, a trend move, you usually want to see some consolidation before the next leg higher. That's what we saw last month, kind of that mid-October move lower, bit of consolidation, it legs lower. So we put that big leg in last week, bit of consolidation this week, kind of a bear trap yesterday, and then now legging higher. So the question becomes, are we going to sustain these levels? Right now, definitely buyers are showing that they have control of this tape. Now it's just a matter of sticking with the trend and watching our bigger levels of interest. I'll continue to be monitoring this daily pivot here, this level that you see highlighted in red. That's going to be a major inflection point. Again, buyers are going to be wanting to defend this area. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. So last week you have big bullish engulfing candle. Bit of follow through this week, right? Certainly not the same magnitude as what we saw last week, but that's to be expected. Last week was a bit of an anomaly. Now, if we take a fib here from the July high, essentially the summer high, into October low, we're just now reclaiming that 50% retracement point. So once price actually reclaims this 44.70. This is kind of seller's last stand here, that 61% area. So if sellers fail, if bears fail to defend this 44.80, you can pretty much safely expect a retest of the 46.83 level, a retest of the July high. So that's one possible scenario to be considering. Of course, that's going to take, multiple weeks to play out, but just forward thinking here into end of the year. As far as Monday is concerned, 44.30 is the level of interest. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ again today giving some really solid clues as far as what we're going to be looking at in ES. Now, I like to keep an eye on NQ even though I'm not trading it directly, just for some market clues as to where ES could go. And the reason I like to do this is because the tech names are weighted so heavily within S&P, within ES, that if you're expecting the market to sell off and tech, aka QQQ or aka NQ, is holding a bid, it's not even breaking VWAP, well, probably need to be really rethinking things, or at least making sure you have an exit plan for any shorts that you may have in ES or in SPY. So tech held extremely well today, catching a massive bid and then showing that follow through again through that most recent lower high. That's a change in character. That is bullish. So if you are thinking this move is overdone and needs to pull back, that may or may not be true, but you don't want to be loading into shorts until we have some type of confirmation that there is a seller in this tape again, because right now there's just not. So don't fight the trend. Now, as far as individual names, scans were pretty dry. Got a handful of names here I'll be looking at for Monday. DDOG again, tight consolidation. This looks pretty good for a leg higher. TTD, a second day play. We'll be looking for continuation of today's move. U, also a second day. This thing held the daily and weekly time frame support right off the open. So buyers stepped in there. We'll be looking for continuation. And then WYNN, another second day play. You can tell all these names have that massive volume, right? We love those stocks in play for individual names. So looking for continuation here and WYNN. Main focus is just going to be the index, of course. The index has been giving phenomenal opportunities even throughout the earnings season. So if you have, or if you're interested in trading the index, definitely shift some focus to the index rather than the individual names. The opportunity set has just been phenomenal, especially when we come into the session with no bias and we're trading at big time levels of interest. So that's the list. Hope everyone had a great week. Hope everyone had a great day. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to send me a direct message in the Traders Think Tank this weekend. Be happy to help you out. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday morning for the pre-market prep live stream. Take care. Have a great weekend.